Hello. Welcome to session 18 of the Little Wolf Knits podcast. I am Brianna, and I am the one-woman show behind the Little Wolf Knits. Hand-dyed yarn, designs, candles, charms, whatever my heart desires. It has been a minute since I have talked to y'all, so I decided to pop on. It's a little bit later at night. It's after 9 o'clock on Sunday, April 25th, 23rd, I think it's the 25th. And I have a few FOs. I have one work in progress. One work in progress. My words. As of today. And so I figured I wanted to hop on and talk to y'all about what I have before it gets too far away. Talk about some things coming, some things in the shop. So grab a drink. Hopefully this will not be too long. I just want to update y'all quickly. And yeah, grab a beverage, whatever it is, whenever you're watching. And we'll jump right in. I'm drinking it's called Bruce. It is like a double chocolate cake stout from Lost Tavern Brewery, which is where Michael works. It's really good. I'm splitting that with him. Okay, so before we get started, like I said, my name's Brianna. If this is your first time joining, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. If you're coming back, thanks for coming back. If you have just stumbled upon me somehow on YouTube, there are a few other places you can find me. I'm on Instagram at thelittlewolfknits. I'm on Ravelry and all of my designs at The Little Wolf is my name on Ravelry, and The Little Wolf Knits Designs is my shop. And then my store where I sell all of my yarn, candles, charms. I also sell my designs there. Is thelittlewolfknits.myshopify.com. All of the things I'm talking about right now and that I will talk about the rest of the episode will be down below in the little description box. That is where I put my show notes, abbreviated show notes. I don't necessarily link to everything, but it's pretty easy for you to find. And that's where you can find me. Yeah, let's jump right in. I have 3 finished objects. I have 3 finished objects, one of which is very, very new. It is not even black, and it's so exciting. But I will start in chronological order. The first finished object I have is the Captiva Crop, a design by Laura of Murphy Made Crochet. I love Laura. Laura and I met about a year ago and have become really close friends. And so when she put out her first design with my yarn, it was the Schitt's Creek January Club. So I like the Why Not the Label. She put a design together that was amazing. And I know a little bit of crochet if you watched this before. And I was like, Laura, I would like to test that. I am a very beginner, and she informed me after I had already been working on it that it is not necessarily a beginner pattern, but it was amazing. And I decided to do, excuse me, a sister version of her. I like the Why Not the Label, which is David Rose inspired. And this is Love That Journey for Me, which is Alexis Rose inspired. And I'm obsessed with this. It's a boxy crop. It's crochet. Like I said, I learned so many new things. And honestly, like I said, I'm a beginner, adventurous beginner. There were definitely things I had to look up, definitely things I fucked up on that I had to rip back and fix and figure out. But by the end of it, I feel like I learned so much, and I love this top. It's so cute. It's going to definitely be a staple. I wore it yesterday to take photos, and then I threw it on again today around the house, took a few more photos, and then just sort of wore it because I really love it. I ended up using, this is my, like I said, Love That Journey for Me, my Sunfish base. I think it took definitely less than 2 skeins, a little bit less than a skein and a half for the second size. And I used a 2.5 mil, nope. Yes, I used a 2.5 millimeter crochet hook. I believe she uses a 3 and I use a 2.5. I'll have a Ravelry page with all the details. If you're not on Ravelry or you can't access that, feel free to send me a message and I could look it up for you. But here it is. I love it. Look at the border. It's so good. So that's FO number 1. Look at that. Can we just like look at this texture of the slip stitch? Yeah, can you see that? So good. It's so good. And I am officially a crocheter. I don't know if this makes me a crocheter, but I will be calling myself a crocheter because I made a fucking garment. I crocheted a top. And this is like a top. It's not like, oh, I just did like double crochets in a tube and put it on. So I'm super excited about that. I was like, what is this? Oh my gosh, it's where my ends are woven in. I need to snip that because I actually wove in my ends and blocked this. But I need to snip that a little shorter or just pull it through to the back. So that's FO number 1. FO number 2, I also blocked this, but I haven't snipped my ends yet, so you'll see them hanging out. But it's blocked. All the ends are woven in. I weave in my ends before I block things. This is my Advent dress. So I used last year, 2020 Christmas Advent from Coast to Coast Yarn Co. Erin, she's amazing. And I knew the way they faded, I had to put them all together in one project. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I didn't really want to do a blanket because the yarn was so beautiful. Honestly, I wanted so many people to see it. So I decided to go ahead and do a dress. I thought I would use all 24. I didn't. I used, let me see how many I have left. 1, 2, 3, 4. I used about 14. And it was like too long. And I was like, okay, I have to stop. And I think I'm going to design shorts with the skein and a half that I have left, 2 skeins that I have left. But this is what I have. It is a dress. It's so cute. You can't even see it all in one shot. But this is modified. It is the Cozy Classic Light pattern from Jessie May, of Jessie May Designs. I used the Advents and I just striped them. I didn't do any sort of fading because I think they faded well enough. Like I knew obviously you would see lines because it was different colorways, but I don't know. I just really, really liked it. I used a US 5 and I think a 2.5 for the ribbing, which might be what it's called for in the pattern. And I did the second size, I think a 36-inch bust. My chest is around 33.5, so about halfway through, I think it's recommended 2 to 4 inches positive ease. So what I did a lot of modification here. For the most part, the top, I did a little bit. I didn't really do too much waist shaping, but then I did some like hip shaping. Let's see, can you see it here? Not too much. Oh yeah, you can there. So I did some increases here for my hips, and then I left it long past my thighs. I didn't come back down, but then I had the ribbing on a tighter needle, so it sort of sucked it back in at the bottom. I knew that I wanted, obviously it's worked top down, and I knew I wanted the stripes and the body to be continuous. I think I had talked about it in a different episode that maybe I would just do the arms in different colors. I decided not to. So what I did was I did the raglan top and I split for the sleeves, and then I picked up the sleeves and I did the sleeves first, 2 at a time, and I basically just worked them until I had used about 10 grams of the yarn. Because when I did the math, the amount of stitches on the sleeves were similar to the amount of stitches on the body. So it worked out pretty well for the first few rows. Then as I started to decrease for the sleeves, obviously there were more rows for the same amount of yarn. So I just, and I knew I was going to start to increase for the hips. So I just did a little bit less for the sleeves. I used maybe 10 grams, 9 grams, 8 grams of yarn. I think down here I ended up using 7 or 8 for the ribbing, because I knew I would use a little bit more here. And if you see, I think it lines up pretty well. Like, obviously when it's on my body, it falls. My arms are moving, but that's pretty spot on, if you ask me. So I was super excited about that. I haven't worn it yet, but I really, really love the colors because I think it'll be perfect. It's like light enough to wear in the spring. I like the dark bottom to wear with boots, like in the fall, to wear even with like opaque tights in the winter. I don't know. I think it's really cute. I will have a Ravelry page for that, and I still have to take FO photos, but you will see these soon. So that is FO number 2. FO number 3, let me grab it. It's right over here because I just finished it today. And I already took some sneaky peeky photos because I'm so excited about this. So this is in my donut bag. It's a custom bag from Lila Styles Me. She knows how much I love donuts. It has a little sprinkle top and it's drawstring, and I really, really love it. And in it, I have my 3rd FO, which is my first ever garment design. I've designed socks and hats so far, but I had this image in my mind. I've had a bunch of sketches drawn out for like the past year. And I was like, maybe someday someone will design that. And then I was like, maybe it's me. And so Laura inspired me with her Captiva Crop. Chelsea of Knitting Tipsy really, really inspired me with her Palmier Knits t-shirt that we collaborated on. I decided to go ahead and try it out. And I'm going to be grading it and getting it tech edited and tested. Hopefully, if there is interest, I'll put it up on my Instagram. So if you like this, keep an eye out. And if there's enough interest, then the hope is to write it up and put it in my shop. And it's going to be called the Twisted T-shirt. All of the accent, the ribbing, and the accents are twisted ribs and twisted stitches. And twisted tea is what we all drink in the summer, all summer long. Not anymore, but when we were younger. Down the shore. And so I thought it was a fun play for this cute little summery top. This is a super, super simple, definitely beginner friendly, adventurous beginner maybe, but I think a great first sweater design pattern. All you need, knit purl, left lean increase, right lean increase, which are so, so simple, and I've like drawn them out. Short rows, which you could omit, but they're so simple, and I really like the way I do them. Knit through the back loop, which if you know how to knit and you've never knit through the back loop before, you can definitely learn. And that's pretty much it. Casting on, backward loop cast on. What I'm thinking I might do with this design is actually do a bunch of like video tutorials. Let me know down below. Would that be helpful? So there's some things I do that are like a little bit, I just sort of figured it out in my head. I haven't looked on YouTube to see if they exist. But I did, like, for instance, a tubular cast on, but normally a tubular cast on is for a 1x1 rib. I was doing a twisted rib. I didn't like when you do a normal tubular cast on and then go into a twisted rib. It kind of defeats the point of, here, I did a tubular cast on for this, that when you do a tubular cast on, it looks like the stitch just continues, right, up to the edge. You can see right there. When you do it with a twisted rib, it doesn't look like it continues because you have a normal knit stitch going into a twisted knit stitch. So I just did a little bit of modification, and I figured out how to do a twisted rib tubular cast on, and then the same for a sewn bind off. So normally I do a tubular sewn bind off, and the same thing happens. And so I figured out how, I wove in my ends, but I didn't block it. I literally finished it today. I figured out how to do a twisted sewn bind off, and over here, a twisted tubular cast on. So I'm thinking I'll do little like video tutorials for that to go along with the pattern, and any other pattern techniques that you might need. I don't think I need left leaning and right leaning, but it's pretty simple. Okay, so this is the twisted tee. This is Love That Journey for me on my Sunfish base, and my leftovers from Laura's Captiva Crop. So it's kind of like a sister design because she inspired me to do it. And then this is my acai base. It's reading super brown, which is what it does on camera. It's really, really hard to take pictures of. It is a purple brown. If you've ever had an acai bowl or an acai smoothie, that purpley brown, that's what this color is. And that's exactly what it looks like in person. When I post photos of it, I usually edit it well enough so it reads true. It's not as dark as eggplant and as like black. It's just a plum brown. And so this is, like I said, twisted rib. If you look at the raglan, it's a top-down raglan construction. If you look at the raglan seam, you can see it. There's a twisted rib that runs down. And then what I've done, because I thought it was really cool, was I've followed that seam. So these bodies, right, this raglan seam ends up becoming part of the body. And so I carried that twisted stitch all the way down the side of the top on the front and the back. Again, it's not blocked. Once it's blocked, this will lay flat. And this will block out. I'm going to block it so it's like a little bit of a, it doesn't cinch in as much. You certainly could leave it and it's super cute. I just wanted a bit more of a loose feel for this one. But I definitely have more in the books that I'm planning to make, and maybe I'll actually leave this one tighter. I'm going to do one that's a little bit more cropped. So this is not super cropped. It's like right to the top of my jeans. I'm going to make a second one with girls in bikinis and banana eating contest, which was my March Gilmore Girls Club. Super, super bright colors, perfect for summer. And I'm going to do an even more cropped version because I think it'll be really fun and summery. So this is the design. Like I said, I'm going to grade it up. I thought I would tonight, but I'm not because I'm doing this. So I'll do it tomorrow and get it to my tech editor. And then hopefully get it out to y'all soon, or a testing call, I should say. And then get it out to y'all a few weeks after that. If you're interested in testing, if you like that design, make sure to follow me on Instagram at thelittlewolfknits, because that's where I will post about the tester call, and I will have the link in my bio to apply to test. I'm super excited. I've gotten a really great response so far, and I hope that continues and everyone really likes it. And I knit that, I should say, using a US 3, so a 3.25 millimeter for the ribbing, and a US 5, 3.75 millimeter for the body. And it was super speedy. I did it in 10 days, and that was with designing, so I had messed up, miscalculated. I actually just like tallied wrong. I thought I needed 6 4-row repeats, but I only needed 3, so that took a really long time, and then ripping back. Basically, it was a whole day of work, and I could have finished it probably in 7 or 8 days if that was the only thing I was working on. So I'm super, super excited about that. Let me put it back in here because I have my Blackberry and Sage Tuft Wool Inspire, which is my favorite, if you've seen this before, and I'm super, super excited. And I should say, for the second size, I took a full skein of the main color and about 30 grams of the contrasting color. So even if I didn't want to do a contrasting, if you just wanted to do one solid color, the second size was less than 2 full skeins of yarn. So that's exciting. I don't know, I'm just super excited about this. And I'll probably put some kits together and some fun like colorways that I think would be really great for this top. Super excited. Okay, those are all my FOs. Getting on to my only work in progress since I finished my twisted t-shirt this morning. And this is in my green cactus bag. I also have a blue cactus bag. I think that's a small, and this is I want to say this is the medium. It's huge, so I keep going to say, oh, the large, but I'm pretty sure it's just the medium. Maybe not. Maybe it's the large. It's so big. I love this bag. Anyway, it's from Songbird Handmade. I've talked about her before. She's super awesome. And in this bag is my Comfort Fade Cardi. I totally put this aside to finish the dress and Captiva. I might have cast this on and then done the Captiva. I put this aside. I pulled it out today after I finished my twisted t-shirt, and I had no idea where I was. I was keeping track of my increases with Knit Companion, which is an app I use on my phone, but I had totally messed something up, and then I realized I think I had missed some increases. It was too much to fudge, so I was like, you know what? It worked up so quickly, I'm ripping it back. So I literally ripped back. Oh, there's something. I got scared. Yarn, I thought it was a bug. I ripped back maybe 4 inches today, and I've already redone. Maybe 5 inches, and I've already redone about 2.5. So after this, I hope to catch back up to where I am and maybe separate for sleeves. That would be nice going into work tomorrow. This is the second Comfort Fade Cardi I've done. If you've seen me before or followed me on Instagram, you know I post about my other one. I wear it constantly, and I have a kit in the shop for my first set. So it's a Quit Your Whining Comfort Fade Cardi set, and it's really nice, like plum, winey colors from a really light ivory, like all the way down to a deep wine color. And so this one I wanted to do a neutral, and I wanted to base it off of my Sandy Fade kit, which is a 5-color fade. The Find Your Fade only needs 4 colors. I could have done 5, but I honestly didn't want to think about it. I knew I was going to be working on this while I was doing my design, and I just wanted to go through this, follow the instructions, and call it a day. And so what I decided to do was take the lightest color, which is S'mores, out of that fade, because I'm totally going to do a separate sweater with that. And so what I might do is list this kit that I'm using as a Comfort Fade kit. So it's easy. You don't have to like make it yourself. You can just figure out what you need. So it starts with Bonfire, which is right here. Really pretty color. And it goes into, make sure I'm holding the right color, it's dark in here, Barnacle, which has greens and browns and rust. That's what I'm fading in right now. You can see here. I love it on the reverse stockinette side. It's so smooth. You can see a little bit more on this side. And then it will fade into, this is not really seashell because I messed it up. To be honest, I added teal speckles. There weren't supposed to be teal speckles in this one, but whatever, it's mine. So a seashell-y kind of color. And then the final, oh, Yes, here's seashell. The final seaside, which is this like mauvey, rosy brown with orange, teal, rust, and I think green speckles. And so, that's the fade. Oh, it's so pretty. And like I said, I'm just fading in the second color. Hopefully tonight and splitting for sleeves. I know my DK skeins have a bit more yardage than most DK skeins. It's an 8-ply, so it plumps up much more than other skeins. And so it is a 273 yards. 273? Something like that. So I decided to do 1 skein of color 1, 2 skeins of color 2, 2 skeins of color 3, and 1 skein of color 4. I know for my first one, I had gotten like a row or 2 into the second skein. And I added a lot of length for that cardigan, so I'm just not going to add as much length. I'll measure it up, and then I should still have more than enough to do the shawl collar. Worst case scenario, the shawl collar has a few less rows. You really won't notice. It's a big shawl collar. So that's what I'm working on. I have stitch markers from Sassafras Knits on here, which I love. I think this is her Riptide set. She is currently taking a hiatus because she has a super awesome job and gets to travel and see wildlife, and so she's off doing that in other parts of the country. And the charm I have on here is the charm from the March Gilmore Girls Club. Girls in Bikinis Banana Eating Contest. If you know, you know. Let's see. Look how perfect that is. This is from Manda of Little Bitty Delights. It is a banana. It doesn't really go with the project, to be honest. If you know me, I like to be a little more matchy. And I probably would have put a chocolate donut with this one. And I might switch it, to be honest, because if I'm going to start a second Twisted Tea, this banana charm goes with that yarn. Like, that's what it came with. So I might put that on that yarn and then put one of my signature chocolate donuts on here. I had gotten this charm in right when I cast it on, and I really wanted to use it because I loved it. So even though it didn't make sense, didn't match the project, I wanted to use it anyway. But now I could sort of switch that with my next Twisted Tea. So that's kind of fun. That's the only whip I'm working on right now. I'm going to work on that, and then, like I said, get my next Twisted Tea started. Once I think I'll do that one along with testers in case there are any problems, and I'll film some of the tutorial videos on that one. So once I get ready to do that, I'll cake that up and work on that. Some other things that are going on that are in the shop right now, or things that there are a few still available for a few more days, I wanted to share. So one thing is the Gilmore Girls Club for this month, which was Dean Forrester inspired. If you ordered and you didn't get yours yet, no one got theirs yet because I didn't send it out yet. I'm hoping the charms will be here tomorrow, and then they're all dyed up and ready to go, and then I'll pop them in packages and get them out in the mail on Tuesday. There are a few, I want to say 2 or 3 charms left, and that's it. And so I'm going to leave the listing up until those sell out, and then once those sell out, I'm going to close this club, and it'll be available 3 months out, unless it ends up going in a kit. Maybe that would kind of be fun. I like this colorway. It might. Don't count on it. If you want it, get it now. You don't need to get a charm, but once the charms are gone, I'm going to close it. Basically what I'm saying. But I'm going to show you a spoiler. I know I put a spoiler picture on this listing in case you ordered and you don't want to see, or if you haven't ordered yet but you still want it to be a surprise, look away because I'm going to show it now. It's called Damn Donna Reed. If you don't know that reference, then you probably don't know what scene this is, but this is obviously when Rory and Dean are dating, and they watch the Donna Reed show. Dean thinks it's sweet. Rory is kind of annoyed. She decides to dress up like Donna Reed and do the whole 50s housewife dinner when she's house-sitting for Babette. So this is the skein. I love it! Go check out if you want to see the photo, the inspiration photo for this one. It's on my Instagram. It's also on the listing. She's in like this peach gingham dress. And there's a lot of like peach and pink. And then Dean is in a navy and like wine sweater. There's a lot of like that winey color in the background. And so that's what this colorway was based on. So many layers of peach, pink, orange, yellow, plum, orangey, so many layers. I love this peach. And then lots and lots of speckles. Plum, this like wine and plum speckles, which I just really like it. And I didn't bring one over here, but the sock set mini is a dark navy mini, like Dean's sweater, and it just really, really pops with this. I'm super excited. The charm is adorable. I cannot wait to get it. I'm really, really excited for this one. Sorry if you were listening and I basically just described this whole skein. Whatever. It's more, if you saw the inspiration photo, you saw all of those colors because it was a Pantone palette, so you knew which colors were going into it, but you didn't see it unless you're looking, and then whatever, you chose to look. So that's this skein. Okay, I'm putting it away now. If you didn't want to look, you can look back. So that's in the shop. There are some one-of-a-kind sock blanks in the shop on Friday, which was Earth Day. Thursday, I think, which was Earth Day. I posted about one-of-a-kind sock blanks that basically I use during my dye process to wipe off like my gloves. When I'm speckling, I speckle with my hands and any other instruments like my measuring spoons that I'm using. They're really, really fun. I put 5 up in the shop this time. 3 are accounted for already. I believe 3, definitely 2, but I think 3. And so 2 are still available. They're super fun. And they are totally one of a kind. Like I said, they're fingering weight, 75-25, 463 yards. Some people asked if they were like a double-stranded sock blank. It's not. It's a single-stranded sock blank, so one at a time socks. I guess you could cut it in half. I've also seen people like wind it into a ball and then work from that. But if you wanted to do 2 at a time. It's really fun to look at them because I can sort of tell like, oh, I was dyeing these colorways based on the speckles and the dyes that I was using. But yeah, they're super, super fun. So those are in the shop. There are a few leftover skeins of I'm trying very hard not to connect with people right now, which was the March Schitt's Creek Club. Really, really fun colorway. Such a cute charm. I'm like really, really happy with it. I've been sneak peeking it on a lot of my designs and photos lately on Instagram. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. There are a few of those left over in the shop. And then coming soon in the next week, May's Gilmore Girls Club will be up, which is inspired by Jess. I love Jess. I'm Team Jess. Depending on the day. I really like Logan after a few rewatches. But mostly Team Jess. I really love Milo. I love him in This Is Us. I love him in everything. So I'm really, really excited for Team Jess. The next stop on our From the Open Road trip club is coming up Sunflower Fields is still available for like another week or so. Probably less than a week, to be honest. I'm going to get them out this week. Sunflower Fields is up for a few more days, and then it'll go down for, again, a few months, unless it's a kit for something. And then I will be dyeing, I think Shoshone National Park is the next stop on our road trip, so that will be the next month. You'll see another dye-along video in the shop within the first week of May, hopefully. And then the beginning of May, the Schitt's Creek Club will go out, so it will still be available for another week or two. And it is folded in. It is the first Moira-inspired colorway. It's really Moira and David, but Moira's first appearance in my club. I'm super, super excited about this, and I'm really, really loving the color inspiration for this skein, this colorway. It's not my go-to. It's pretty far off from like the plums and the deeper colors that I think I feel more earthy, maybe I should say, that I like feel more comfortable with. There is a little bit more like pastel-y colors in it. And I think it's going to be really fun to like not be super bright and cotton candy-ish. But still pull some of those pastels. So I'm really excited about that colorway. And that will be in the shop for a week or two, and the charm is so good. I'm so excited for the charm. I'm sure you can guess what it is, but I'm just saying it's really, really good. And then the last thing that's still in the shop are the Harry Potter July birthday countdown calendars. So we have a 30-day countdown calendar, 16-day countdown calendars, and you could choose between a variegated or tonal, and then a single skein, birthday skein, to open on Harry Potter's birthday. Those are all available in the shop and will start being dyed up beginning of May-ish. I know that not everybody budgeted for a July club, and so I'm trying to take a poll of if you were really wanting one and planning for December, although I know a lot of advents are already being purchased for December, but if you weren't budgeting for it yet, but you would still want one, even after seeing other people open theirs and obviously having a lot of spoilers, I don't think it would be a surprise because it'd be really hard to not see people's projects and videos and posts. But if you wanted one for December, I'm going to dye a few extra, but I'm trying to gauge how many. So either comment down below, comment on Instagram, and let me know. I have some polls in my stories. If you were planning on getting one and you would want one for December, and which one you would want, because I'm going to dye them up. And they're going to be one of a kind. I'm not writing down recipes. So once they're dyed up, they're dyed up. And then there will only be a few left for December. Because I'm also doing another December countdown, which is going to be Schitt's Creek themed. I'm super excited about that for December. So those are the options. That's what's coming up in the shop in the next few months. That's pretty much all I'm doing. Super busy at work. Dyeing work, but also work. If you don't know, I'm a therapist by day, and I work in a counseling center at a local college. And I've been super busy. Semester's winding down. Sort of just final push through this semester. Life-wise, yeah, we're just busy. Michael and I are looking for houses, which is kind of exciting. But we're not in a huge rush. We really like our apartment complex here. But having a house, having a little bit more space, having a basement or a separate dye studio would really help me do more for the shop and make my life a little bit easier. It's really hard the way I'm dyeing now as a second job to be dyeing in my kitchen, because almost every day I'm taking everything out, dyeing, putting everything away, completely cleaning, cooking, and then back and forth every single day. And that's a long process. So if I just had a dedicated dye studio, I think I would get a lot more done and it would be a lot more enjoyable. So that's what we're doing, but we'll see how that goes. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Excited for the summer and warm weather. It was getting warm, and then there's some cold snaps coming through, which is a tease. I'm over the cold. And now that I'm fully vaccinated, which is super exciting, Michael's on the list. I was a healthcare provider, so I got vaccinated a little bit earlier. I didn't get vaccinated as early as I could because I'm working remotely and wanted to make sure that in-person frontline workers were getting vaccines that they needed. But once, now that I'm vaccinated, Michael's on his way. I'm really excited for warmer weather and things opening up and being able to do like outdoor dining and restaurants, because I really miss restaurants. And I still want to be safe, and so I don't love eating inside. I have very few times since the pandemic started, and really with places that I had done a little bit of research on and knew I felt safe. But I'm just excited for warmer weather. That's all I got. I'm going to go so I can get to finishing and maybe splitting for sleeves on my cardigan. And then get to grading tomorrow. I'm super excited. Thanks so much for spending some time with me tonight. Hopefully this was enjoyable and you got some good work done on your projects. Let me know down below what you're working on. Oh, and I guess last thing, if you've made it this far, I've hit 3,000 followers. I shouldn't say subscribers. Oh, I'm tired. I hit 3,000 followers on Instagram in the last few weeks, and so I'm doing a giant giveaway. It's really fun. A mini skein set of yarn from me, a bag from Casiosa Crafts, a pair of earrings of your choice from LW Graphico, and then a pattern from Fox and Honey Fibers. And it's a really fun summary bundle, and so definitely that's going to be open on my Instagram through this coming Thursday at midnight, and I'm going to choose and announce a winner on Friday. So get on there. All the instructions for how to enter are there. If you are interested, make sure you don't miss out on that, because it's a really great, really, really great set. And with that, I will say goodnight. Until I see you next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Bye.